Game 4 getting underway tomorrow between the Suns and Bucks. Remember when Giannis hyperextended his knee? We don't either, because that seems to be a thing of the past, even though it was 2 weeks ago. The Greek Freak putting up 41 points, 13 boards, 6 assists, and the Bucks' dominant win over the Suns Game 3. Suns now up just 2 games to 1. And while, yes, it is Giannis' first NBA Finals, mind you, he's already won back-to-back MVP awards in his career. He does not want to be compared to one of, and for many, the greatest of all time.
And I know you said before you can't predict the future.
Yes.
But Michael Jordan had 4 straight 40-point games against the Suns in the NBA Finals.
I'm not Michael Jordan.
Is that in jeopardy?
I'm not Michael Jordan. 40 points in a straight 2.
4 in a row.
Yeah, no, I'm not Michael Jordan.
Well, it could very well happen. It wasn't just Game 3 where Giannis put up more than 40, put up 42 in Game 2, joining a very short list of players who recorded consecutive 40-point NBA Finals performances. Of course, you see Giannis doing it this year, the last to do it, LeBron 2016, and then Shaq before that, all the way in 2000, and the list goes on from there. Let's welcome in NBA champ Rip Hamilton. Rip, Giannis, it's hard to imagine that he did hyperextend his knee, given what we've seen the past couple of games here. And, you know, without him, this Bucks team, they were just out of rhythm, and now they're cruising.
Yeah, Amanda. You know, the first couple games, I just feel as though they were trying to overdo it when trying to get him involved. They didn't get back to, I thought when he was out the first couple games, I feel as though this team really moved the ball. They got easy shots. They allowed their offense to dictate where the shots were coming from. Drew Holiday played great, and Chris Middleton did too. When Giannis came back after that knee injury, which we thought that he might be out for the remainder of the playoffs, I thought they was trying to force feed him at times. I thought they went back to 2 years ago when they would just give Giannis the ball and everybody just get out the way and run and allow him to run the ISO play on the offensive end. So I just felt as though in Game 3, especially playing on their home court, playing in their home arena, that they allowed the ball to pop. I thought that the guys did a great job of feeding off each other. Coach Bud, one adjustment that I thought he did, he put Giannis in pick and roll situations. So Giannis is now the roller. He is not the guy that's initiating the offense. And when you do that, it allows Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton still to be aggressive, still to get to the basket. But now the defense can't help off of Giannis as much. And when they do, Giannis is going to kill you on the offensive rebound, which he has done, and he's going to kill you on the weak side of the defense. So I just feel as though that the Bucks are doing a better job of really executing their offense and not trying to run ISO ball against this Phoenix Suns team.
Rip, when the series started, you said it's all about the Suns. You said they were locked in, and they were until Game 3 happened, because that wasn't pretty for them. Did Game 3 change your view on who wins the finals, or are you still going with the Suns?
I'm still going with the Suns, Amanda, because when you're Phoenix, your objective is to come and just get one win. You ain't got to get both of them. And Milwaukee did what they were supposed to do in the NBA Finals, really feed off their crowd, come out with a lot of energy, which we expected. We thought that they would do that in Game 1 and 2. But they came out with that it factor. Defensively, they really paid attention to detail. They really contained Devin Booker. I thought that was a huge plus, knowing where he's at all times. He had a lot of wide open shots, which he usually makes. But I just felt as though that Drew Holiday made it tough for him. PJ Tucker made it tough for him. And when you do that, when you take the Phoenix Suns guards out the game, Phoenix has a hard time scoring the ball. So I just thought that Milwaukee did a great job. They're a better team at home, which we know. They play faster. They get up and down. It just seems like they got a lot more energy at home. So Phoenix only got to come in and got to get the next game, because it's not a series until one team loses on their home court.
Rip, let's go off the finals here for a second, because, of course, making headlines today, Team USA basketball losing to Australia in this Olympic tune-up game. They lost to Nigeria on Saturday. We know Pop isn't happy about the results, but he's also not happy with reporters here. Still, Team USA looking to win their 4th consecutive gold medal. Are you very concerned by what's happened in these 2 games, and what do you think has happened there?
I am concerned, Amanda. When they lost against Nigeria, I would say, hey, you know what? Nigeria played them tough. U.S. just didn't have their legs under them. They're still trying to find their rhythm out on the floor. But when you lose back-to-back games, yes, I am worried. And the reason why is is like usually the USA team always have a veteran guard that like a Jason Kidd or LeBron James, a guy that understands sacrifices on the offensive end. And hey, I just got to get guys involved on the floor, more vocal out there. And I don't see that from this USA basketball team. They're a lot smaller. In the past, they went for more of the wing player, guys that can play on the perimeter. And I feel as though Australia beat them up in the paint. I thought Nigeria beat them up in the paint. So that's a major concern. And late game situations, it just seems like they just don't execute as well. And you got to expect that, especially from a team that's just put together. It's still early in the summer right now that guys are still trying to find their rhythm out on the floor, understanding what guys can do out on the basketball court. A lot of these international teams, they've been playing together for a long time. Patty Mills had a great game scoring over 20 points. He's been with that team for 9 years. But them guys been playing together year in and year out, especially in the summertime. So I just feel as though that the USA, yes, you're going to be worried. Who's going to be the vocal leader on this ball club? LeBron James has been on this team in the past. Chris Paul is another guy that's been on this team in the past that was able to lead, not just by scoring, but by being a vocal leader out on the floor. So I want to see who's going to be that guy for the USA basketball team to step up and take ownership in from a leadership standpoint.
Rip, this offseason, this summer, we could see a lot of movement in the NBA. Of course, a report today, the 76ers have opened up trade conversations surrounding Ben Simmons. I mean, this has been the talk since the 76ers were ousted out of the playoffs here. His contract is a monster to deal with. So I'm just curious your thoughts surrounding this. I mean, possible teams he could go to, what they could get in return. Where's your head right now when it comes to Ben Simmons?
Well, Amanda, only way you make a move is if you get an all-star caliber player in return. You just don't go out there and shop Ben Simmons and say, okay, you know what? I'm making a trade for draft picks or young guys or multiple of young guys that can just be, guys that can help this team. You need a guy that's going to get this team over the edge. I feel as though that when you look at Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid on the floor at times, sometimes it just feels like the court gets smaller just on the simple fact that Ben Simmons can't knock down shots. And yes, hey, you know what? The way he performed in Atlanta series, only averaging just a little over 9 points in that series. Yes, that's a huge concern, especially when you got a guy that's paid over $150 million. But I do think that if you're going to trade him, you got to get an all-star caliber player in return. Maybe one of the guards from Portland. You hear little rumblings in Portland that, hey, they might, Dame Lillard might want to move on, or they might want to move off of CJ Cullum. So I think that if you can get an all-star caliber guy, a guy that could be a threat on the offense end, especially from the perimeter, just from a spacing standpoint, it allows Joel Embiid to be Joel Embiid. It allows Joel Embiid to be a guy that can dominate the paint when you have another all-star caliber guy that can space the floor from the three-point line.
Another trade we could see is somebody we had right here on HQ recently, Colin Sexton. Now, we asked him about moving this offseason, and he told me, he said, you know what, I love Cleveland. I'd like to stay here. That said, he probably also wants a long-term deal, which he is now eligible for. A report today that he is very available to trade. What do you think about Colin Sexton moving on?
I think that, yes, Cleveland got to make a move. I mean, they when you look at Darius Garland, the other point guard that they have on this roster, they got to make a decision. Which one do they want to keep? So I think this is a situation where they feel as though they got to get bigger on the perimeter. Claxton is a guy that's going to demand a lot of money. Had a great year last season. You hear rumblings of him going to the Knicks or other teams out there that want him. He's a tough kid, a guy that really gets after it on the defensive end. Offensively, he really picked it up from a scoring standpoint, averaged 24 points this year, which was a career high for him. So I just feel as though, hey, you know what? Cleveland got to make a decision, kind of like Portland. Do they want to get stuck with two undersized guards for the future, or you can kind of move him, do a sign and trade, where you can get more help on the perimeter. You know, you got a high draft pick. This is a lead draft, depending on who you get in the draft. So I just feel as though this is a situation that they got to figure out. Hey, you know what? We got to get bigger, especially on the perimeter.
Finally, LeBron saying that he wants to finish his career with the Lakers, appearing on the Smart List podcast. He said, I truly hope that I can finish my career with the Lakers, however many years that is, 4, 5, 6, whatever, 7. I hope I continue to play the game there. If he goes 7 years, he's finishing his career around 44 years old, Rip. So that would be incredible. But what went through your head when you heard LeBron say this?
Well, I loved it. I mean, LeBron has always been smart and strategic about his comments. I mean, when you're looking at it from a fan's perspective, you're like, oh my goodness, like that's very humble of LeBron James. Yes, the Lakers want to keep him for the remaining future of his career. He's the most marketable guy that we have in the NBA. He's a guy that, regardless who you have on your roster, he's going to give you a chance to win a world championship. As long as he stays healthy, I do see him playing into his mid-40s. I mean, you see how the lead has changed. The lead has got smaller. So, hey, LeBron James, yes, he plays a lot at the point guard position, but you can move him all the way down to the center or the power forward position. So I think that, hey, yes, he's a guy that really takes care of his body, spends a lot of money on it. A guy that says he spent almost $1 million on his body. So he eats the right foods. He makes sure he stretches. He makes sure he gets off his legs. So if I'm a Laker fan, I'm sitting there, running around party time at my house, because that's something that, that LeBron is a guy in the past that moved from team to team, especially from 2 to 3 years. So I just think that if you're a Laker fan, you're excited about his comments.
Rip, you're not quite in your mid-40s yet. If you played one full game right now, how would you feel in the NBA?
You know what, Amanda? I was just out there. John Lucas, who a guy that I play with in Chicago, does workouts for the kids. So this morning I was out there running sprints with them. But after I got done, I was coughing my lungs out, Amanda. I don't know if I could do it at 43. So hats off to LeBron James and what he's able to do at his age if he's able to play until he's 44 years old.
Well, and hats off to you for getting out there this morning. Good job, Rip. We'll talk to you soon. Of course, we got Game 4 coming up tomorrow in the NBA Finals. There will be now at least a Game 5 heading back to Phoenix. That's where it is. I had to think there for a second. Bucks at Suns, and then we'll see if we get a Game 6 and Game 7. Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.